Okay, so we're going to be replacing the stock pump on a 190D 2.5 turbo diesel from 1987. This is an OM602 turbo engine. It's a 5-cylinder, and so we are using a mechanical pump built by Benz Injection, and it uses diesel mechan elements. And to start off, we're just going to remove everything that's in the way. So that's going to include this crossover pipe, your manifold, and the fuel lines. Okay, so with the crossover pipe out of the way, as well as the reservoir and the brake booster line, you now have a lot more access to everything here. You're going to want to crack open your lines on both ends before you start loosening the entire thing. Crack them open, each one like that. Then you can remove the lines. The lines are attached to the manifold here. So once your lines are cracked open and loosened on both ends, you can now remove your manifold, and it should all come off as one unit. You're going to want to be really gentle. You're going to want to remove some of these accessories here. That way you don't damage anything when you're pulling it off. Prior to removing the injection pump, you're going to want to make sure that your engine is at top dead center. So these front two lobes, you're going to have one pointed that way and the other one pointed that way. And you can confirm down here, it's kind of hard to see. Basically my finger's in there. You can confirm right here is your timing marks, and there should be a little pointer. Let me see if I can zoom in right there. But as you can see, it's pointed to OT, which means top. So with it at top dead center, you can now remove the injection pump, and to get to the injection pump mounting bolts, you're going to want to remove this vacuum pump here. One more thing, this vacuum pump is known to self-destruct and get ball bearings in your timing chain area. So I would highly suggest replacing this OEM pump with an aftermarket pump while you're at it. So there's about 6 or 7 bolts all around this vacuum pump, and you're going to want to be careful because it's spring loaded. So I recommend doing a star pattern all around it, and it comes out evenly. Otherwise you're going to have one bolt and it's going to be kind of coming off, and it's going to be really difficult. So I recommend going in a star pattern, and as you can see, it pops right out, and we're in top dead center. So now we have access to those injection pump mounting bolts. And you're going to want to remove this main bolt here. Now this is left-hand threaded because of the direction that the timing chain spins. That way it doesn't come out on its own, meaning you're going to turn it clockwise, and you're going to use this injection pump lock right over here. You're going to want to use a little mirror so you can ensure that the pin that this locks onto, as you can see there, you're going to want to make sure that pin is showing. So you're going to use a little mirror, you're going to aim it in there, and you're going to lock this. So then once it's locked, you can go ahead and remove that main bolt. After this main bolt is out, you can take out these mounting bolts. And then finally, you can remove the mount back here that mounts it to the engine. Okay, so at top dead center, there's a pin right there in the injection pump, and we're going to lock it using this injection pump lock. Now, you want to make sure that this line right here, the indent, is horizontal so that it locks into your pin. Make sure it's nice and centered. Okay, and then gently start engaging it, start closing it. Okay, so as you can see now, it is centered and it is in there nice and tight, and you'll know that this thing can't move, so it's locked now, whereas when it's not filled in that indent, it's going to be able to move. So that's how you know it's locked now. You can leave that alone, and we can start undoing the main bolt over here. Okay, so left-hand bolt comes out, turning it clockwise. We have the injection pump lock. You're gonna see it engage. It's gonna push in and out once you're yanking on the bolt over here, so don't be afraid. That's how you know that it's locked in. And just a word of advice, do not change the timing on the crank when you have this on. Otherwise, you're gonna break off that little pin inside of the injection pump. And you don't wanna do that if you wanna return your old pump for a rebate, or if you wanna rebuild it. the 3 mounting bolts for the injection pump are located right here, and down here. Now, they look like this. They're long bolts, and they have this locking nut in the back. You're gonna wanna make sure you put your hand on the locking nut. One of them is located here, so that when you remove the bolt, it doesn't get lost. You're gonna wanna hold on to these for reinstallation. And again, there's 3 of them. There's one right here, one at the bottom, and one at the very side over here. Once you have all 3 removed, you can come back here to this mounting bracket, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna pull the pump back and lift up. You're not gonna do it at an angle. You're not gonna lift straight up. You're gonna pull it back nice and smooth, and then up nice and smooth. Now that the bracket back here is off and this little lever has also been unhooked, you can now gently, while supporting the weight of the injection pump, pull it outwards and lift it up. So as you can see, it's kind of giving it a wiggle. We have the old pump here and the new pump here from Ben's Injection. This is an 8mm pump. It's paired with the super turbo injectors. You're gonna need to get those if you have one of these pumps. And basically what we're doing now is we're putting this locking mechanism from this pump over here. You're gonna wanna make sure that the pin is in the center, and it is, but that's because we were able to use this vacuum pump gear to rotate this. If you don't have that vacuum pump gear to rotate this, you're gonna wanna be very careful with these teeth. Use a cloth, and you can basically grip it and turn it. So, same deal. You're gonna wanna make sure that that is nice and horizontal. Okay, so it's in there. I'm gonna start locking it now. And that is still nice and horizontal. Okay, so that's nice and tight. It is in the correct timing to be paired back up with the engine. What we're gonna do is we're going to put the engine on 10 degrees after top dead center. So you'll be installing this pump 10 degrees after top dead center. And then from there, we can hook everything back up. We've got the pump back on now. And we installed these 3 mounting bolts in a star pattern. So that way we don't break any of the fragile mounting points on the pump itself. These bolts are gonna be 25 Newton meters. These are the mounting bolts. And then the main bolt, if you remember, to take it off is clockwise, to tighten it is counterclockwise. And we're gonna go 40 to 50 Newton meters on this one. You're gonna need a special type of torque wrench so you can actually click it going the opposite way. And with that, we have our injection pump installed. It's very shiny, very nice. You're gonna go in reverse order with everything. Basically just reinstall your fuel lines, your manifold, and you should be good to go. One word of advice, when you crank it for the first time, it's gonna take quite a bit of time. This thing's gonna fill up with oil. Don't be worried, I know I was my first time. So there you go, you guys have it.